The colony ship New Dawn broke through the clouds of Viridian 7, and Captain Han Tae-sung felt his breath catch in his throat. Below them stretched forests of deep purple and silver, rivers that glowed faintly blue in the afternoon light, and mountains that touched the sky. After 3 years in space, the 200 colonists aboard his ship finally had a new home. "Beautiful," whispered Dr. Park Ji-woo from the science station. She was looking at her screens, but her eyes kept drifting to the viewport. "Air is breathable. Water is clean. Temperature is perfect. This place is a miracle," Han nodded. They had been lucky to find this world. So many colony missions ended in failure, but Viridian 7 was everything the probes had promised. Maybe even better. "Take us down to the landing site," Han ordered. Nice and easy. The ship descended through the atmosphere, its engines humming softly. The colonists gathered at every viewport, pointing and laughing. Children pressed their faces against the glass. Some people were crying with relief and joy. 3 years in space was a long time. But as they flew over the northern continent, Lieutenant Choi Yun-bi frowned at her console. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange. There are structures down there." "Big ones," Han turned to her. "Structures?" The probes didn't show any civilization. "The probes scanned this planet 20 years ago," Yun-bi said. She pulled up an image on the main screen. "Look at this." The view showed a city, or what was left of one. Tall buildings stood empty, their windows dark. Streets were overgrown with plants. Everything was silent and still. Not a single light. Not a single movement. "Someone lived here," Park Ji-woo said quietly. "But they're gone now." Han felt a chill run down his spine. An empty alien city was not something they had prepared for. "Change course. Take us closer. We need to see this." The New Dawn flew low over the abandoned city. It was huge, easily large enough for millions of people. The buildings were beautiful, made of some kind of white stone that seemed to glow in the sunlight. But everything was empty. Dead. "No bodies," Yun-bi reported. "No signs of violence. It's like everyone just left. Or disappeared," someone muttered. They landed the ship in a clearing near the city. Han selected a team of 12 people to explore. Park Ji-woo would lead the science team. Chun-bi would handle security. Engineer Yoon Dae-ho would check the alien technology. Han would go with them. "Stay together," Han ordered as they left the ship. "Touch nothing until we know it's safe. Record everything." The alien city was even stranger up close. The buildings seemed to be grown rather than built, their walls smooth and organic. There were no doors, just open archways. Inside they found furniture that looked comfortable but strange. Tables with too many legs. Chairs that seemed to float. Everything was covered in a thin layer of dust. "They've been gone for a long time," Park Ji-woo said. She ran her scanner over a wall. "Maybe 50 years, maybe more." They explored for hours, moving deeper into the city. They found schools with tiny desks, hospitals with empty beds, markets where food had long ago turned to dust. But no people, no bodies, no answers. It was Yoon Dae-ho who found the entrance to the underground facility. He had wandered away from the group, following a strange energy reading on his equipment. "Captain, over here." The others ran to him. He was standing in front of a building that looked different from the rest. Smaller, more solid. And there was a door sealed tight. "There's power inside," Dae-ho said, excitement in his voice. "Not much, but it's still running after all these years. Whatever's in there, someone wanted it protected. Can you open it?" Han asked. Dae-ho studied the door for a moment, then pulled out his tools. "Give me 10 minutes. It took him 8. The door hissed and slowly slid open, revealing stairs that led down into darkness. Han turned on his flashlight and started descending. The others followed. The underground facility was cold. Their breath misted in the air. Emergency lights flickered on as they walked, triggered by their movement. The hallway was long and straight, leading to a single room at the end. Inside that room they found the pods. There were 20 of them, arranged in 2 rows. Each was made of clear material, and inside each was a body. Most of the bodies were adults. All of them were dead, their preservation systems long failed. Except one. In the last pod, in the corner, something small moved. "Dear God," Park Ji-woo whispered. It was a child, an alien child, small and fragile. Her skin was pale blue, almost white. Her hair was silver. And her eyes, when they fluttered open, were the deepest violet Han had ever seen. The pod was barely working. Its lights were dim and flickering. Red warnings flashed on its display. "She's alive," Park Ji-woo said. She rushed to the pod, her scanner beeping frantically. But she won't be for long. This system is failing. Can we get her out? Han asked. We have to. If we don't, she'll die in there. Daeho was already working on the pod's controls. His hands moved quickly over the alien interface. I think I can open it, but I don't know what will happen when I do. Do it, Han said. The pod hissed and opened. Cold air spilled out. The child inside took a shaking breath, then another. Her eyes opened wider. She looked at all the humans standing around her, and Han saw terror in her face. Then she looked directly at him. She tried to speak, but no sound came out. Her lips were dry and cracked. Park Ji-woo quickly gave her water. The child drank, coughed, and drank again. Then she spoke in a small, broken voice in words they could somehow understand. Are you my daddy? Han felt his heart break. He knelt down beside the pod so he was at her eye level. No, little one. I'm not your daddy. I'm sorry. The child's face crumpled. Tears rolled down her blue cheeks. But then she looked at Park Ji-woo. Are you my daddy? Park Ji-woo shook her head gently. No, sweetie. The child looked at Yunbi, at Daeho, at every human in the room, asking the same question over and over. Are you my daddy? Are you my daddy? Each time the answer was no. Finally, the child stopped asking. She looked down at her small hands and started to cry in earnest, her whole body shaking with sobs. Han carefully lifted her out of the pod. She was so light, like holding air. He wrapped her in his jacket and held her close. She buried her face in his shoulder and cried like her heart was breaking. We're going to help you, Han promised. We're going to find your family. I promise. But even as he said it, he looked around the room at all the dead in their pods, and he wondered if that was a promise he could keep. The medical bay of the New Dawn was quiet except for the soft beeping of machines. Dr. Kim So-ra stood over the sleeping child, studying the scan results with growing concern. 3 days had passed since they found her, and she still wasn't getting better. Her temperature's dropping again, Kim So-ra said to Captain Han, who stood nearby. Nothing I do seems to help. Her body is just shutting down piece by piece. Han looked at the small figure on the medical bed. The crew had started calling her Nami, a Korean word meaning wave. She had liked the name when they told her. It was the first time she had smiled. There has to be something we can do, Han said. I don't know what. I'm a doctor, but I've never treated an alien before. Her biology is completely different from ours. Kim So-ra pulled up an image on her screen. Look at this. Her cells are dying. I can slow it down, but I can't stop it. The door to the medical bay opened. Yoon Daeho walked in carrying a tray of food. He did this 3 times a day, every day. He would sit with Nami and try to get her to eat. Sometimes she would. Sometimes she wouldn't. How is she? Daeho asked quietly. The same, Kim So-ra answered. Daeho pulled a chair up to Nami's bed and sat down. He didn't say anything else. He just sat there keeping watch. Han had noticed this. Daeho was always volunteering to help with Nami. He fixed her room to make it more comfortable. He brought her things to play with. He read to her at night when she couldn't sleep. It was strange behavior for Daeho, who usually kept to himself. Later that day, Nami woke up. She was weak, but she insisted on walking around the ship. She held Daeho's hand as they walked through the corridors. Every time they passed a crew member, she would stop and look up at them with those huge violet eyes. Are you my daddy? She would ask. And every time the answer was no. By the end of the week, she had asked every single human on the ship. 200 people. 200 no's. She stopped asking after that. Park Ji-woo brought news that evening. She had been studying the data they recovered from the underground facility. I've translated some of their records, she told Han in his office. The species is called Velathi. They had a great civilization once. Hundreds of worlds, billions of people. What happened to them? Han asked. A plague. It started 50 years ago and spread fast. It killed 99% of their population in just 10 years. The few who survived tried to save their children by putting them in stasis. They were hoping someone would find them and help. Han leaned back in his chair. So Nami's parents are dead. Almost certainly. But there's more. Park Ji-woo pulled up a document on her tablet. According to their records, Velathi children need something called a life anchor. It's a parental bond. Without it, they die. Their biology requires it. A parental bond? You mean emotional? Emotional and biological. The child bonds with their parent on a genetic level. The parent's DNA literally helps stabilize the child's cells. It's how their species evolved. But when the parent dies, the child starts to die too unless they bond with someone else. Han felt cold. That's why she keeps asking if we're her daddy. She's not just looking for her parent. She's looking for someone to keep her alive. Yes. And we don't know if humans can form that kind of bond with Velothi children. We might not be compatible. That night, Han called a meeting of the senior crew. They gathered in the conference room and he told them everything. So what do we do? Asked Yunbi. We can't just let her die. We could try to find other Velothi, suggested one officer. Maybe some survived. Where? Han asked. We don't even know where their homeworld was. We could search for years and find nothing. Or we could test if humans can bond with her, Kim So-ra said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. It's possible, she continued. Human DNA is very adaptable. We might be compatible enough. But I would need to run tests. A lot of tests. Then do it, Han said immediately. Test everyone who volunteers. If there's even a chance we can save her, we have to try. The next morning, Kim So-ra announced the testing program. She explained what they knew about Velothi bonding and asked for volunteers. She expected maybe 20 or 30 people. 87 crew members signed up. They ran tests for days. Blood samples, genetic scans, compatibility matrices. Kim So-ra worked around the clock, comparing human DNA to Velothi biology, looking for matches. Meanwhile, Nami got worse. She stopped eating completely. She barely spoke. She would just lie in her bed, staring at nothing. Sometimes she would cry, but most of the time she was just silent. Daeho spent more and more time with her. He would sit by her bed and tell her stories about Earth, about oceans and mountains and forests, about cities with millions of people, about his childhood in Korea playing in the rain. Nami would listen with her eyes closed. Sometimes her lips would move in a small smile. Why do you do this? Yunbi asked Daeho one day. She found him in the medical bay during his off-shift hours. Daeho didn't look up from Nami's sleeping form. Someone should be here. She shouldn't be alone. But why you? You barely talk to anyone on this ship. Maybe that's why, Daeho said softly. I know what alone feels like. 2 weeks after they started testing, Kim So-ra called Han to the lab. She looked exhausted but excited. I found something, she said. The tests are coming back. Some humans show minor compatibility. Not enough to form a full bond, but enough to prove it's possible. That's good news, right? It's complicated. A minor compatibility might extend her life by a few months. But for a full bond, for her to really survive, we need someone with at least 90% compatibility. That's extremely rare. I've tested 70 people so far, and the highest score is 42%. What about the others? The ones who haven't tested yet? I'm working through them as fast as I can. But Han, you need to understand something. Even if we find someone compatible, the bonding process is permanent. It changes both the human and the child on a biological level. They become connected for life. It's not something you can undo. Would it hurt them? I don't know. The Velothi records describe it as intense but not harmful. But we've never tried it with a human before. That evening, Han visited Nami. She was awake, lying on her side, looking out the window at the stars. Hello, little one, Han said gently. Hello, Captain, Nami whispered. Her voice was very weak now. Dr. Kim is working hard to help you. We're going to find a way. Nami turned to look at him. You're kind. All humans are kind. But I know I'm dying. I can feel it. Han's throat tightened. Don't say that. My first daddy told me that humans were good. That's why he sent me to your space. He said if anyone would help me, it would be humans. A tear rolled down her blue cheek. He was right. You tried so hard. But some things can't be fixed. We haven't given up, Han said firmly. And neither should you. But as he left the medical bay, he wondered if hope was enough. 3 days later, Kim So-ra finished testing the last volunteer. She found Han in the ship's garden and handed him a datapad. These are the final results, she said. 73 people tested. Most showed low compatibility. A few showed moderate, but no one scored high enough for a full bond. Han felt his heart sink. So that's it? There's nothing we can do? There are still 14 crew members who haven't volunteered yet. Some of them didn't volunteer because they're scared. Some have medical conditions that make testing risky. And some just didn't want to. Did Yoon Dae-ho volunteer? Kim So-ra shook her head. No, I asked him twice. He refused both times. Quan He-jin was a linguist and she loved puzzles. The Velothi language was the biggest puzzle she had ever encountered. For 3 weeks, she sat in her small office surrounded by tablets and screens, trying to decode the alien writing they had found in the underground facility. Most of the records were corrupted or incomplete, but slowly, word by word, she began to understand. "Captain, you need to see this," she called Han one morning. When he arrived, she looked like she hadn't slept in days. "I've translated the main database. It's a history of what happened to the Velothi." She pulled up a document on her screen. The plague started on their homeworld 53 years ago. No one knows where it came from. It spread through their entire civilization in less than a decade. They tried everything to stop it. Medicine, technology, even magic, according to some records. Nothing worked. Han studied the alien text scrolling across the screen. He even translated it, made for grim reading. How many survived? Best guess? Maybe a few 100,000 out of billions. They scattered across the galaxy, trying to save what they could. But the plague followed them everywhere. What about the children? Hyjin touched another file. That's the heartbreaking part. The plague didn't kill children directly, but when their parents died, the children died too. The life anchor bond, you see. Without parents, Velothi children can't survive, so they put them in stasis. Yes, all over their territory, in hidden facilities just like the one we found. They hoped someone would find the children and care for them. It was a desperate gamble. Most of these facilities failed over the years. The children died in their pods. Han thought of Nami alone in that dark room for 50 years. Why did Nami's pod keep working when all the others failed? I don't know. Luck, maybe? Or maybe someone made sure hers had extra power. Maybe someone loved her more than the others. Yejin paused. There's something else. I found personal records. Messages left by the parents for whoever found their children. Can you translate them? I already did. Do you want to read them? Han did. The messages were short, written in simple words so any species could understand. They all said similar things. Please care for my child. Please love them. Please give them the life I could not. One message was longer than the others. It was in Nami's pod file. To whoever finds her. Her name is Nami in your language. She loves music and stories. She's afraid of loud noises but brave when she needs to be. She has her mother's eyes and my stubborn heart. I am leaving her coordinates to human space. I studied your species when I was young. You adopt children who are not yours. You cross great distances to save strangers. You are kind in a way most species are not. Please, if you have any compassion, bond with my daughter. Let her live. I know I ask the impossible. I know you owe us nothing. But she is good and bright and deserves a future. I love her more than stars and time. Please love her too. Han read the message 3 times. His eyes were wet. The parent knew about us, he said quietly. They studied humans. They sent Nami to our space on purpose. Yes. They believed humans would save her when their own species couldn't. Meanwhile, pilot Shin Woo-jin was leading exploration missions across Viridian 7. They had found 5 more abandoned cities, 2 more underground facilities, dozens of empty pods, but in one facility they found something different. The pods were all dead, but there was a working computer terminal. Woo-jin managed to power it up and download its files. Park Ji-woo spent days analyzing the data. What she found changed everything. Han, the Velothi children can bond with other species, she announced at the next senior staff meeting. It's not ideal, but it's possible. Their biology is designed to be adaptable. They can form a life anchor bond with any species that has compatible emotional and genetic markers. And humans have those markers? Han asked. Yes, not all humans, but some. The compatibility tests Kim Sora has been running are accurate. If we can find someone with high enough compatibility and they agree to bond, it would work. Would it be permanent? Yes, the bond rewrites DNA on both sides. The human would be connected to Nami for the rest of their life. They would feel her emotions, share her health. If she got sick, they would feel it. If she was happy, they would feel that too. What would happen to the human? Asked Yunbi. Park Ji-woo hesitated. According to these records, humans who bond would live longer. Much longer. Velothi live for 200 years. The bond would extend the human's lifespan to match. They would also develop some Velothi traits. Enhanced healing. Better memory. Emotional sensitivity. That doesn't sound bad, someone said. It's not bad. But it's permanent. You can't change your mind. You can't break the bond. You would be that child's parent forever in every way that matters. The room went quiet. There's one more thing, Park Ji-woo added. The bond requires real love. Not obligation, not pity. It has to be genuine emotional connection. The Velothi biology can sense the difference. If someone tries to bond without truly caring for the child, it won't work. That night, Nami woke up screaming. The medical bay filled with people as she thrashed in her bed, crying and calling out in her native language. She's having a nightmare, Kim So-ra said, trying to calm her. But it wasn't a nightmare. It was a memory. As Nami thrashed and cried, the medical equipment picked up strange readings. Her brain was showing unusual activity. Park Ji-woo, who had rushed to the medical bay, studied the scans with wide eyes. She's remembering, Park Ji-woo said. The memories encoded in her DNA are surfacing. This happens to Velothi children during stress. They remember their parents. Through broken sobs, Nami spoke. Hyojin was there to translate. Daddy is carrying me. Running. There's fire in the sky. Daddy is scared but trying not to show it. We go underground. There's a white room. A glass bed. Daddy puts me in the bed. Daddy is crying. I ask why I have to sleep. Daddy says when I wake up, I'll be somewhere beautiful, somewhere safe. Daddy says humans will find me. Good humans who help lost children. I'm scared. I don't want Daddy to go. Daddy holds my hand, sings my favorite song, says I love you more than stars in time. The glass closes. Daddy's face gets blurry. Then everything goes dark. Nami's eyes opened. She looked around the medical bay, confused and terrified. Daddy? She whispered. Daeho pushed through the crowd. He sat on the edge of her bed and took her hand, exactly like her father had done 50 years ago. It's okay, he said softly. You're safe now. Nami looked at him. Her violet eyes were full of tears. I remember. I remember my first daddy. He left me alone. He didn't want to. He did it to save you. But I'm still dying. He saved me for nothing. No, Daeho said firmly. He saved you so you could live. We just have to figure out how. Nami stared at him for a long moment. Then she said something that made everyone in the room go still. Are you going to be my daddy? Daeho froze. His face went pale. I don't. It's okay, Nami said quietly. I know you don't want to. No one does. I'm not angry. She lay back down and closed her eyes. Within moments she was asleep, exhausted from the memory. Daeho sat there, still holding her hand. He looked shaken. Yoon, Kim So-ra said gently, you should get tested, please. No, why not? You care about her. Anyone can see that. Caring isn't enough. Daeho stood up, carefully placing Nami's hand back on the bed. I can't be what she needs. I'm sorry. He walked out of the medical bay. Han followed him. He found Daeho in the observation deck, staring out at the stars. The engineer's shoulders were tight with tension. You want to tell me what that was about? Han asked. No. Daeho, that child is dying. You're the only person on this ship she's connected with. You're the one she asks for. You're the one she talks to. Why won't you at least test for compatibility? Daeho turned to face him. His eyes were red. Because what if I'm compatible? What if the test says I can save her? Then what do I do? You save her. It's not that simple. Daeho's voice cracked. You don't understand. I had a family once. A wife, a daughter. They died in a station accident 6 years ago. I couldn't save them. I watched them die and I couldn't do anything. Han felt his chest tighten. I didn't know. I don't talk about it. After they died, I swore I would never get attached to anyone again. No family. No close friends, nothing. It's easier that way, safer. Safer for who? For everyone. I can't be someone's father again. I can't take that responsibility. What if I fail? What if I can't protect her? What if she dies anyway and it's my fault? Han stepped closer. What if she doesn't die? What if you save her and she grows up happy and strong? What if you get a second chance to be a father? Daeho shook his head. I don't deserve a second chance. Maybe not. But that little girl in there deserves a chance at life. And right now you might be her only hope. Han left him there alone with the stars and his grief. Lee Min-seo was the ship's geneticist and she was brilliant. While everyone else focused on testing crew members for compatibility, she focused on understanding why compatibility mattered in the first place. She spent 2 weeks locked in her lab, barely sleeping, barely eating. She studied human DNA. Velothi DNA, the bond itself. How it formed. How it worked. What it needed. When she finally emerged, she looked terrible but excited. I found it, she told Han, Park Ji-woo, and Kim So-ra in her cluttered lab. I know why some humans are compatible and others aren't. And I know what we need to save Nami. Tell us, Han said. Min Seo pulled up a complex diagram on her screen. The life anchor bond works through something called resonance markers. Think of them like a lock and key. The child's DNA has a lock. The parent's DNA needs the right key to open it. Most species don't have these markers at all, but humans do. We have them because of our own evolutionary history of pair bonding and adoption. So we can bond with Velothi children? Park Ji-woo asked. Some of us can. But here's the problem. The bond needs two things to work. One is genetic compatibility, which we can test. The other is emotional resonance, which we can't test. What do you mean? Kim So-ra asked. The Velothi evolved this bond system because it helped their children survive. But it only works if the parent genuinely wants to protect and care for the child. It's not enough to just have matching DNA. You have to love them, really love them. The bond can sense the difference between real love and fake love. Han leaned forward. So even if we find someone with perfect genetic compatibility, if they don't truly care about Nami, the bond won't form? Exactly. That's why so many of our volunteers showed low compatibility. It's not just about genetics. It's about connection. The bond measures both. That's impossible to test, Kim So-ra said. How do you measure love? You don't, you just have to trust it. Min Seo closed the diagram and pulled up a new one. But here's the good news. If we find someone with high genetic compatibility who also genuinely cares about Nami, the bond will work. It will save her life. And the human will be fine. Better than fine, actually. The bond has benefits for both sides. What kind of benefits? Han asked. For Nami, it stabilizes her biology completely. She'll stop dying. She'll grow up healthy and strong. For the human, they'll gain enhanced healing, longer life, and an empathic connection to the child. They'll always know how she's feeling. Always know when she needs them. That sounds like a lot of responsibility, Park Ji-woo said quietly. It is. That's why the bond is permanent. You can't take on this role lightly. You're not just agreeing to be a parent. You're agreeing to be bonded to this child for life. Your DNA literally becomes part of hers and vice versa. That afternoon, Han called another crew meeting. He explained everything Min Seo had discovered. He told them they needed someone who was both genetically compatible and emotionally connected to Nami. So who does that describe? Asked Yunbi. Everyone looked at each other. The answer was obvious to all of them, but no one wanted to say it out loud. Finally, a young crew member named Ji-woo spoke up. Engineer Yoon, he's the one she talks to. The one she asks for. If anyone on this ship loves that little girl, it's him. But he won't even test, someone else said. Then we convince him, Han said. We make him understand that he might be her only chance. But convincing Yoon Dae-ho proved harder than anyone expected. When Han approached him again, he refused immediately. I already told you no. You need to reconsider. We think you might be compatible with her. You don't know that, no, but we can test. That's all I'm asking. Just let us test you. And if I'm compatible, then what? You expect me to bond with her? To become her father? If you're compatible and willing, yes. Dae-ho shook his head. Find someone else, and there is no one else. We've tested everyone who volunteered. None of them scored high enough. You're the only one left who has a chance. Then she doesn't have a chance. I'm sorry. Han felt frustration rise in his chest. Why are you being so stubborn? You spend more time with her than anyone. You bring her food. You read to her. You hold her hand when she's scared. Don't tell me you don't care about her. Caring about someone and being their father are two different things. Not for Velothi, they're not. For them, it's the same thing. If you care about her, if you truly care about her, then you are compatible. The bond will work. You can save her. Or I can fail and she dies anyway. Then it's my fault. Again. Dae-ho walked away before Han could respond. The next day, Counselor Bae Sung-ho visited Dae-ho in the engineering bay. Sung-ho was the ship's therapist, a quiet man who rarely spoke but always listened. I heard about your family, Sung-ho said. I'm sorry for your loss. Dae-ho didn't look up from his work. That was 6 years ago. Grief doesn't have a time limit. I'm fine. Are you? Because from where I'm standing, you're punishing yourself. You're avoiding any connection because you're afraid of losing someone again. That's not your business. It becomes my business when a child's life depends on you getting past your fear. Daeho slammed his wrench down on the workbench. You don't understand. I couldn't save my daughter. I tried everything. I fought so hard, but she died in my arms and there was nothing I could do. Nothing. So yes, I'm afraid. I'm terrified. Because what if I bond with Nami and I can't save her either? What if I let another child down? What if you save her? Sung-ho asked gently. What if this is your chance to protect someone? To be the father you couldn't be before? I don't deserve that chance. Maybe not. But Nami deserves to live, and right now you're choosing your fear over her life. Those words hit Daeho like a punch. He stood there staring at Sung-ho, unable to respond. That night, Nami's condition took a turn for the worse. Her fever spiked. Her heart rate dropped. Kim So-ra worked frantically to stabilize her, but nothing was helping. She's giving up, Kim So-ra said. Her body is shutting down. They called Daeho to the medical bay. When he arrived, he found Nami barely conscious, her blue skin pale and her breathing shallow. He sat beside her bed and took her hand. It was cold. Hey, little one, he said softly. You need to stay strong. Nami's eyes fluttered open. Daeho? I'm here. Am I dying? He felt his throat close up. No, you're going to be fine. Don't lie. I can feel it. Everything's getting dark. Her fingers squeezed his weakly. I'm sorry I kept asking if you were my daddy. I know you don't want to be. That's not... Nami, listen to me. It's okay. You've been kind to me. Kinder than you needed to be. Thank you for that. Her voice was getting weaker. I wish I could have met Earth. I wish I could have seen the oceans you told me about. I wish... Stop, don't talk like that. Will you tell my first daddy something for me? If you ever see him in the stars? What? Tell him I wasn't scared. Tell him I met good humans just like he said I would. Tell him I'm sorry I couldn't hold on longer. Tears ran down Daeho's face. Please don't give up, please. I'm tired, so tired. Her eyes closed. I think I'll sleep now. Nami, no. Stay awake, look at me. Please look at me. But her hand went limp in his. The monitors around her bed started making alarm sounds. Kim So-ra rushed over, checking readings and injecting medicines. She's crashing, Kim So-ra said. We're losing her. Daeho stood up. His whole body was shaking. He looked at Han, who stood in the doorway. Test me right now. Test me. Han's eyes widened. What? Test my compatibility. Do it now. It takes hours to run a full compatibility test. Then do a fast one. Something. Anything. Just tell me if I can save her. Kim So-ra pulled out a scanner. I can do a preliminary scan. It won't be as accurate, but it'll give us an idea. She ran the scanner over Daeho's hand, then over Nami's. Her equipment hummed and beeped. Then her eyes went wide. Oh my God, what? Daeho demanded. What does it say? 97%. You're 97% compatible with her. That's almost perfect. I've never seen a score that high. Daeho looked at Nami's unconscious form. Her chest was barely moving. The monitors showed her vital signs dropping. How do we do the bond? He asked. Tell me what I need to do. Are you sure? Han asked. You understand this is permanent? Forever? I don't care. Tell me how to save her. Park Ji-woo stepped forward. We need to go back to the underground facility. The bonding equipment is there. It's the only place we can do this. Then let's go. Now. They moved fast. They loaded Nami onto a medical transport and flew back to the alien city. Daeho held her the whole way, whispering to her to hold on, to stay alive, to wait just a little longer. When they reached the underground facility, Nami's heart stopped. No! Kim So-ra shouted, pressing her hands to Nami's chest. She started compressions, pushing down rhythmically. Come on, little one. Don't you dare give up now. They were in the underground facility in the same cold room where they had found Nami weeks ago. The emergency lights flickered overhead. Medical equipment beeped urgently. Her heart's not starting, Kim So-ra said through gritted teeth. She kept doing compressions, sweat running down her face. Daeho stood frozen, watching. His hands were shaking. This couldn't be happening, not now. Not when he had finally decided to save her. Use the defibrillator, Han ordered. Kim So-ra grabbed the device and placed it on Nami's chest. Clear. The machine discharged. Nami's small body jerked. The heart monitor showed a flat line. Again. Another shock. Still nothing. She's been down for 2 minutes, Park Ji-woo said quietly. Her voice was shaking. I know. Kim So-ra prepared another shock. Daeho pushed forward. Stop, let me hold her. Yoon, she needs medical attention. She needs her father. Daeho gently moved Kim Sora aside and picked up Nami's lifeless body. She was so light, like holding a bird. He cradled her against his chest and put his hand over her heart. Please, he whispered. Please don't leave. I'm sorry I took so long. I'm sorry I was afraid. But I'm here now. I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. So please, please come back to me. Nothing happened. Tears ran down Daeho's face. I'll be your daddy. I promise. I'll read you stories and make you laugh and keep you safe. I'll show you Earth and the oceans and everything beautiful in the universe. Just please don't die, please, still nothing. Then Minseo spoke up. Wait, look at the readings. Everyone turned to the medical scanner. It showed something strange. Nami's heart wasn't beating, but there was energy building in her cells. Faint but growing. What is that? Han asked. I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. The energy grew stronger. Nami's body started to glow faintly. A soft blue light emanating from her skin. The light spread to Daeho where their bodies touched. His hand over her heart started glowing too. The bond, Park Ji-woo breathed. It's starting. Even though she's clinically dead, her DNA is responding to him. She recognizes him as compatible. But she's not conscious, Kim Sora said. The bond needs emotional connection. How can she connect if she's not awake? Maybe it doesn't need her to be awake. Maybe it just needs him to love her. And he does. The blue light grew brighter. Daeho felt warmth spreading through his chest, into his arms, through his whole body. It didn't hurt, but it was intense, like being filled with electricity. Then Nami gasped. Her eyes flew open. Her heart started beating again, fast and strong. She's back. Kim Sora checked the monitors. Blood pressure rising. Oxygen levels improving. She's stabilizing, but the blue light didn't stop. It kept growing, surrounding both Nami and Daeho in a cocoon of energy. Is this normal? Han asked. I don't know, Park Ji-woo admitted. The record said the bonding process was intense, but I don't know if this is right or if something's going wrong. Daeho didn't care. He held Nami close, feeling her heart beat against his chest. She was alive. That was all that mattered. Daddy? Nami whispered. Her voice was confused, frightened. I'm here, little one. I've got you. What's happening? We're bonding. You and me. Is that okay? Nami looked up at him with those huge violet eyes. You want to be my daddy? Really? Really. If you'll have me. But I thought you didn't want to. I thought you were scared. I am scared. Terrified, actually. But I'm more scared of losing you. He brushed her silver hair back from her face. I can't replace your first daddy. I'll never try to. But if you let me, I'll be your second daddy. I'll love you and protect you for as long as I live. I promise. Nami stared at him. Fresh tears ran down her blue cheeks. I want that. I want you to be my daddy. Then hold on tight. This might feel strange. The blue light suddenly flared brighter. Nami and Daeho both cried out. The energy wasn't just around them anymore. It was inside them, rewriting them on a cellular level. Daeho felt his DNA changing. He could feel it happening, like every cell in his body was being transformed. It was painful and wonderful at the same time. He felt Nami's presence inside his mind, her emotions flowing into him, her fear, her hope, her desperate need to live. And he felt his own emotions flowing into her, his love, his determination, his absolute certainty that he would never let her go. The bond clicked into place like a lock finding its key. Both of them gasped. The blue light faded. The room went quiet except for the soft beeping of monitors. Daeho and Nami looked at each other. They didn't need to speak. They could feel each other now. Connected in a way that went beyond words. Daddy, Nami whispered. But this time it wasn't a question. It was a statement of fact. My daughter, Daeho answered and felt rightness settle into his bones. Kim Sora checked them both with her scanner. Her hands were shaking with excitement. The bond worked. It actually worked. Nami's cells are stabilizing. The degeneration has stopped. She's going to live. Everyone in the room let out a collective breath of relief. Some people were crying. Others were laughing. Han was doing both. How do you feel? Kim Sora asked Daeho. Different. I can feel her. Her emotions. Her presence. It's like she's a part of me now. That's the bond. You'll always be connected. Are you okay with that? Daeho looked down at Nami, who had fallen asleep in his arms, exhausted but peaceful. Yes, I'm more than okay with it. They returned to the ship. Word spread quickly that the bond had worked. Crew members lined the corridors to see Daeho carrying Nami. People were clapping and cheering. Some reached out to gently touch Nami's hand as they passed. "Welcome to the family, little one," someone said. "We're so glad you're staying with us," said another. Nami woke up enough to smile at them all. "Thank you. Thank you for helping me." They took her to the medical bay for observation. Kim Sora ran test after test, documenting everything. The bond had changed both Nami and Daeho in measurable ways. "Your DNA has merged," Kim Sora explained. "You share genetic markers now. Your immune systems are linked. If she gets sick, you'll know immediately. If you're in pain, she'll feel it too." "What about the enhanced healing?" Park Ji-woo asked. "And the extended lifespan?" "Already happening. Daeho's cells are repairing themselves faster than normal. His biological aging has slowed dramatically. If the Velothi records are accurate, he'll live as long as she does. About 200 years, give or take," Daeho blinked. 200 years? You're a Velothi parent now. Your biology reflects that. Kim Sora smiled. "Congratulations. You're going to be young for a very long time. I don't care about that. As long as she's okay, she's more than okay. She's thriving. Her body is responding to the bond better than I could have hoped." Over the next few days, Nami's transformation was remarkable. Color returned to her blue skin. Her eyes became brighter. She started eating again, devouring everything Daeho brought her. She laughed for the first time, a sound like bells ringing. She also started calling Daeho Daddy constantly. Every other sentence, like she was testing the word, making sure it was real. "Daddy, can I have more food? Daddy, will you read me a story? Daddy, what's that machine do? Daddy, I love you." That last one made Daeho stop what he was doing every time. He would look at her with wonder, like he couldn't believe this was real. "I love you too, little one." The crew helped them set up a room for Nami next to Daeho's quarters. They brought her toys and books and clothes. Yumbi taught her games. Park Ji-woo showed her pictures of Earth. Yejin taught her more human words. But it was Daeho she wanted most. She followed him everywhere. When he had to work in the engineering bay, she sat nearby and watched. When he ate, she sat beside him. At night, she refused to sleep unless he was in the room. "She's bonded to you completely," Sung-ho explained. "It's normal. Velothi children stay close to their life anchor, especially in the first few weeks." "I don't mind," Daeho said. "Actually, I like it. I spent 6 years avoiding connections. Now I have someone who needs me every moment. It's healing." 1 week after the bonding, Han found them in the ship's garden. Daeho was teaching Nami about earth plants. She was fascinated, touching leaves gently and asking questions about everything. "You're good at this," Han said. Daeho smiled. "I'm learning. She's patient with me. I'm proud of you. You saved her life. She saved mine too. I was just existing before, going through motions. Now I have purpose again, someone to protect, someone to love. She gave me that." Han watched Nami laugh as a butterfly landed on her hand. "The crew wants to have a celebration, to welcome her officially as part of our colony. She'd like that." That evening, the entire crew gathered in the main hall. They had decorated it with lights and flowers from Viridian 7. Someone had made a cake. Children from the colony played music. Nami stood in the center of it all, holding Daeho's hand, looking overwhelmed and happy. Han gave a short speech. 3 weeks ago, we found a child in the dark. She was alone and dying. She asked us if we were her daddy. We weren't, but we tried anyway. And now, because of one man's courage and one child's strength, we have something miraculous. We have proof that love transcends species. That family is more than biology. That humanity's greatest strength is our ability to care for those who need us." Everyone applauded. Nami hugged Daeho's leg, shy but smiling. "Welcome home, Nami," Han said. "Welcome to humanity." 2 months had passed since the bonding. Nami was thriving. She had grown taller. Her silver hair was longer. Her laughter filled the corridors of the New Dawn daily. But Daeho was worried. He sat in Kim Sora's office watching scan results on her screen. "These readings are normal, right?" Kim Sora smiled. "More than normal. They're excellent. Nami is completely healthy. The bond stabilized her biology perfectly. But I keep feeling strange things, like echoes in my head. Sometimes I know what she's feeling before she tells me. That's the empathic connection. It's supposed to work that way. You're bonded, Daeho. You share emotions now. That's not a problem. It's a feature. It's just so different. I'm still adjusting. You're doing fine. Better than fine. You're a natural father. Daeho didn't feel like a natural father. He felt like he was making everything up as he went along. But Nami seemed happy, so maybe that was enough. That afternoon, something unexpected happened. Nami was playing in the garden when she suddenly stopped and looked at the sky. Her face went pale. "Nami," Daeho asked, "what's wrong?" "I feel something. Something far away. Like a pull." Park Ji-woo, who was nearby, immediately pulled out her scanner. "There's a signal. Very faint. Coming from deep space. What kind of signal?" "Velathi." "It's a Velathi distress beacon." Han was called immediately. Within an hour, the senior crew was gathered in the conference room analyzing the signal. "It's coming from a facility about 2 weeks' travel from here," Park Ji-woo explained. "Another stasis site like the one where we found Nami." "How many life signs?" Han asked. "Hard to tell from this distance. At least 5. Maybe more." Everyone looked at Nami, who sat in Daeho's lap. She looked small and scared. "There are more children?" she asked quietly. "Like me?" "Yes," Park Ji-woo said gently. "Other Velathi children left in stasis by their parents. Are they dying too?" "We don't know. But if they are, we need to help them." Han turned to his crew. "We're going. We saved 1 child. We can save more." The New Dawn changed course. For 2 weeks, they traveled toward the distress signal. During that time, Daeho noticed changes in both himself and Nami. His reflexes were faster. His eyesight was sharper. Small cuts healed within hours instead of days. And he could feel Nami's emotions more strongly now, like they were his own emotions. When she was happy, he felt warm inside. When she was scared, his chest tightened. When she was excited, energy buzzed through his veins. "Is this what it's like for all Velathi parents?" he asked Park Ji-woo. "According to the records, yes. The bond creates a deep connection. Some Velathi parents could communicate with their children without speaking. They just knew what the other needed. That sounds intense." "It is, but it's also beautiful. You're never alone. Neither is she." When they finally reached the facility, they found it was larger than the first one, underground like before. But this one had power, weak but functioning. They descended carefully. The layout was similar to Nami's facility. Long hallway. Single room at the end. Stasis pods arranged in rows, but this time 6 of the pods were still working. 6 children. Kim So-ra breathed. All alive. They were different ages. The youngest looked about 3 years old. The oldest maybe 10. All had the same pale blue skin and silver hair as Nami. All were unconscious in their pods, systems barely keeping them alive. "They're all dying," Kim So-ra reported after scanning them. "Same condition as Nami had. They need life anchors. Soon." Nami pressed close to Daeho, staring at the other children. "We have to save them." "We will," Han promised. "But we need more humans who can bond with them. Daeho, you're the only one who's done this. We need your help figuring out who else might be compatible." They worked through the night. Kim So-ra tested crew members against each child's DNA. Min Seo analyzed the compatibility data. They were looking for matches for humans who could form bonds. The results were mixed. 3 crew members showed high compatibility with 3 of the children, but the other 3 children had no good matches. "We need more people," Min Seo said. "We don't have enough compatible humans on this ship." "Then we send a message to other colonies," Han decided. "We ask for volunteers. People who are willing to bond with these children and save their lives." The message was sent. While they waited for responses, they carefully woke the 3 children who had compatible matches. The first was a little boy named Kai. He was about 5 years old, small and weak. When he woke up and saw all the humans, he started crying. "Are you my parent?" he asked in broken universal standard, just like Nami had. A woman named Ko Hai-wan stepped forward. She was a teacher on the colony ship, warm and kind. Her compatibility score with Kai was 93%. "I can be," she said gently, "if you want me to be." Kai looked at her with huge violet eyes. "I'm scared, me too, but we'll be brave together." "Okay," he nodded. Hae-won picked him up and held him close. Even without the formal bonding, he immediately relaxed in her arms. The second child was a girl named Lyra, about 7 years old. She was cautious and intelligent. Her match was an engineer named Song Jae-hoon, a quiet man who loved puzzles and problems. "I don't know anything about being a parent," Jae-hoon admitted. "Neither do I," Lyra said. We'll learn together, Jae-hoon smiled. Deal. The third child was a boy named Tae, about 8 years old. He was angry when he woke up, demanding to know where his parents were. His match was a security officer named Nam Soo-bin, a tough woman with a soft heart. Your parents loved you very much, Soo-bin told him. They put you in that pod to keep you safe. I know you're angry. You have every right to be, but right now you're dying, and I can help. Will you let me? Tae glared at her. Then he started crying. I just want my mom, I know. I can't be your mom, but I can be someone who cares about you, someone who will protect you. Is that enough? After a long moment, Tae nodded. Over the next week, 3 bonding ceremonies took place. Han, Park Ji-woo, and the medical team supervised each one, using the equipment from the facility. The ceremonies were similar to Nami and Daeho's bonding. Blue light. Intense energy. DNA rewriting itself. Pain and wonder mixed together. But they all worked. All 3 children bonded successfully with their human matches. All 3 stopped dying. Nami watched each ceremony with fascination. Does it hurt? She asked Daeho, a little, but in a good way. Like growing pains. I don't remember my bonding very well. I was too sick. That's okay. What matters is we're together now. She hugged him tight. I'm glad you're my daddy. I'm glad you're my daughter. Meanwhile, responses to Han's message started arriving. Dozens of humans from other colonies volunteered to bond with the remaining 3 children. Some were colonists. Some were scientists. Some were just people who wanted to help. This is incredible, Park Ji-woo said, reading through the volunteer applications. People are willing to change their entire lives to save alien children they've never met. That's humanity, Han said quietly. When someone needs help, we answer. It's what we do. They selected the best matches from the volunteers. A young couple from the Mars colony for the 3-year-old girl named Sina. A retired military officer from Earth for the 6-year-old boy named Hiro. And a doctor from Europa Station for the 10-year-old girl named Yuna. Who was the most critical? The volunteers arrived 2 weeks later. The bonding ceremonies were performed. All successful. 6 Velothi children. 6 human parents. 6 new families created from desperation and hope. The children recovered quickly once bonded. They were curious about humans, about Earth, about everything. They had endless questions. Why is your skin so dark? Sana asked her new human mother, touching her brown arm with fascination. Why do humans eat cooked food? Hiro wanted to know. Can I see pictures of Earth? Yuna begged her new father. The human parents learned too. They learned Velothi songs and games. They learned about the extinct civilization these children came from. They learned how to feel their children's emotions through the bond. And slowly, carefully, they became families. One evening, all 6 families gathered in the New Dawn's common area. The children played together while the adults talked. It was the first time Nami had been around other Velothi since waking up. This is nice, she told Daeho, having friends who look like me. You'll always have friends here. Human and Velothi both. Do you think there are more children out there? In other stasis facilities? Maybe, probably. We should find them. We should save them all. Daeho looked at his daughter's determined face and smiled. Yes, we should. Han overheard this conversation. He called a senior crew meeting that night. Nami's right, he told them. There are probably dozens of these facilities scattered across Velothi space. Hundreds of children, maybe, all dying without life anchors. We can't just ignore them. What are you suggesting? Hyunbi asked. I'm suggesting we make this our mission. We stay in this region of space. We search for stasis facilities. We find the children and bond them with human volunteers. We save as many as we can. That could take years, someone pointed out. Yes, but it's the right thing to do. The crew voted. The decision was unanimous. They would stay. They would search. They would save Velothi children. Word spread to other human colonies. More volunteers signed up. More ships joined the search. Within months, it became 3 years had passed since the New Dawn first landed on Viridian 7. 3 years since Han Tae-sung and his crew found a dying alien child who asked if they were her daddy. Now Viridian 7 was home to a thriving colony. 200 humans and 87 Velothi children, all living together. The empty alien city had been restored and filled with life again. Human homes stood beside Velothi buildings. Human children played with Velothi children in parks that had been empty for 50 years. Nami was 9 years old now, though she looked older. Velothi children grew faster than humans in their early years. She was tall and bright, with silver hair that reached her waist and violet eyes that sparkled with intelligence. She sat in the classroom Deho had built for her, teaching human children about Velothi history. On the walls were pictures she had drawn. Her first daddy, who she remembered through genetic memory. Her second daddy, who had saved her life. The Velothi were explorers, she told the class. They visited hundreds of worlds. They studied stars and built beautiful cities. They were kind and curious and brave. What happened to them? Asked a human boy. Nami's smile faded. A plague came. It killed most of them. The survivors tried to save their children by sending them to the stars. Some of those children were found by humans. That's why I'm here. That's why any Velothi are here. After class, Nami found Deho in his workshop. He was building something, his hands moving skillfully over metal and circuits. He looked the same as he had 3 years ago. The bond had stopped his aging almost completely. What are you making, Daddy? A communication device. I'm trying to boost the range so we can search deeper into Velothi space. Looking for more facilities? Always. We've found 87 children so far. But there might be more. Nami hugged him from behind. Through the bond, she could feel his determination, his love, his constant need to protect. You're a good daddy. To me and to all the lost children out there. I'm just doing what needs to be done. That's what makes you good. That evening, something happened that changed everything. A ship appeared in orbit around Viridian 7. Not a human ship, something else entirely. Alarms rang across the colony. Han rushed to the communication center. What is it? Who are they? Unknown, Yunbi reported. The ship's design is completely foreign, not in any of our databases. Are they hostile? They're hailing us. Audio only. Han took a deep breath. Open the channel. A voice came through the speakers. It spoke in Universal Standard, but with an accent Han didn't recognize. This is Elder Show of the Velothi Remnant Fleet. We request permission to land. We mean no harm. We only wish to meet the humans who have saved our children. The room went silent. Everyone stared at the speaker. Velothi, Han said. Adult Velothi? You survived? A few hundred of us survived the plague. We have wandered the galaxy for decades, searching for the children we left behind. We heard rumors of humans bonding with Velothi young. We had to see if it was true. It's true. We have 87 children here. All healthy. All bonded with human families. There was a long pause. Then the voice came back, thick with emotion. May we see them, please? We have been searching for so long. Han looked at his crew. Everyone nodded. You may land. Welcome to Viridian 7. An hour later, a delegation of 12 Velothi emerged from their ship. They looked similar to the children but taller, with the same blue skin and silver hair. Their faces were lined with age and grief. Some were crying before they even reached the colony. The children were brought to meet them, 87 young Velothi, holding hands with their human parents. The adult Velothi stopped and stared. Blessed stars, Elder Show whispered. So many, you saved so many. Nami stepped forward. Are you Velothi? Real adult Velothi? Elder Show knelt down to her level. Yes, child. We are, and you are one of the saved ones. You are alive and healthy, and she touched Nami's face gently. You are bonded. I can see it in your eyes. You have a life anchor. This is my daddy. Nami pulled Deho forward. His name is Yun Deho. He's human. He saved me. Elder Show stood and faced Deho. She studied him for a long moment. Then she bowed deeply. You did what we could not. You gave this child life. Thank you. Thank you beyond measure. Deho bowed back, uncomfortable with the attention. I only did what any parent would do. No, you did something extraordinary. You bonded with a species not your own. You changed your very biology to save a dying child. That is not ordinary. That is miraculous. The other adult Velothi were moving through the crowd meeting the children. There were tears and laughter and disbelief. The children were excited but also confused. These were their species but not their parents. Not their life anchors. We are not your parents, Elder Show explained to the gathered children. We cannot be. You have bonded with humans now. That bond is sacred and permanent, but we are your elders, your teachers. We can tell you about your heritage and your history and the civilization you came from. Will you stay? Asked Kai, the little boy bonded to Heiwan. If the humans allow it, yes. We have nowhere else to go. Our ships are old. Our people are few. If we could make a home here, near the children we thought we'd lost forever, it would be a blessing. Han stepped forward. You're welcome here. All of you. This world was yours once. You should be able to live on it again. And so the adult Velathi stayed. They settled in the restored city, teaching the children about Velathi culture. They sang old songs and told ancient stories and showed them how to write in